Hello everybody, it's me again, Madam Nasra. Our topic today, it is history. Our topic today is colonial social service. After seeing the colonial economy, after they came up and they built up the colonial economy, the next thing that they done is they provided colonial social service. That is, during the colonialism, also they had the colonial social service. Here refer to the all services provided by the government or public agencies for the welfare of people. They are social services, as we know. Social services such as include the health centers, education centers, transport and communication, water supply, housing and electricity. That during the colonialism we had electricity, housing, water supply. They ensured the all services are provided at the colonial areas. By starting with the colonial education referred to the process whereby Africa got knowledge, skills and value that were necessary for the mastering social, political and economic situation under colonial rule. That is, skills, knowledge, value that were necessary. That is, the aim of this education is to make Africans in the situation that they can go the same. They can work together under the colonial rule. Also refer to the transfers of knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills from colonial masters to some Africans during the colonial period. That is simple definition. The colonial education, the transfer that Africans got knowledge, got skills from the colonialists during the colonial period, during the colonial era. Aims of the colonial education. What do we think that why colonialists introduced the colonial education? They had their own aims. That is, creating some African. The first aim is creating some Africans who will work with the white collar jobs. Yeah, this is the aim, the main. I can say the main, because they wanted to make some Africans who will help them to work together in their colonial jobs. As some in some place, like the lower position, European needed Africans to help. There are need of Africans to help them. So they were using their language, and Africans used their ethnic languages. So in order for them to understand each other, they came up with the word colonial education. So the main aim was to help the whites so that they can work on their job. Another, creating knowledge which could help Africans to produce raw materials. Yeah, just a little knowledge, like in the farm, how to cultivate, how to plant, yeah, something like that. Another is the next part is characteristics of colonial education. The first one is colonial education. It was in pyramid shape. When we talk about pyramid shape, we mean like this one. As at the lower parts it expands, but the more the higher the number of elites decrease. That is pyramid shape. This means that the number of students reduced as they went up. Few people reached the higher level of colonial education. That is, few people reached to the higher level of colonial education. Here they studied a lot of people, but the higher level here meant in small number of people. Also, colonial education characterized by the racial segregation. In congregation, the quality education were provided. They are provided to white children. I mean, European are the based on the racial segregation. Colonial education, the quality of education provided differed from one racial group to another. Europeans were at the top, followed by Asians, then finally Africans received poor education. As we can come back to this pyramid, the good education were given to Europeans, then followed by Asians, then Africans received the very poor education. Another, gender inequality. Gender inequalities. This means that boys got more. They got what? Boys preferred more to get education than girls. Colonial education provided inequality of boys, whereby boys were given high quality while girls were given low quality education. So most of the girls were taken by sisters to work in their homes. Another, colonial education characterized by social segregation. Not all Africans were able or were allowed to receive or to gain the colonial education. Only chiefs' sons, chiefs' daughters, sons or children of the rulers, I can say local rulers like chiefs, kingsmen, were allowed to get the colonial education and not other children. That is social segregation. Also, based on European syllabus, the colonial education which were provided in Africa based on the European syllabus that they were studying. If it is a geography, they will study the geography of Europe. If it will be history, it will be history of what? Of Europe, and not relating to the African context. The next part is impact of colonial education. The impact. What are the impacts of the colonial education? First of all, like the classes among Africans. Classes among Africans. This means there are classes of elite, educated and uneducated. Some who were educated were different from those who were not educated. This class between elite and non-elite people. The elites those who went to school never liked to those who were not arrived at schools. Another, led to the destruction of Africans' culture. This happened for those who got the colonial education. After being civilized, they changed totally and acted as a white people, and they ignore all African culture, all African lifestyle. If it is wearing, the educated one will wear like a white man. If it is eating style and the all ways of life, if it is the religious issues, the one who is educated changed it totally and adopted the Christianity instead of their former religion. Another, colonial education created awareness among Africans. It is colonial education which made some of Africans come up and rise against the colonial rule. That a few of them who got the colonial education came up and understand that the colonialist is not good for us. Colonialist should be removed. Colonialism, as they came up with anti-colonialism. It is colonial education which helped some of our colonial fighters leader, example Mwalimu Nyerere and Kwame Nkrumah. They were among of the Africans who got the colonial education. So after they getting the colonial education, they were aware with the colonial situation. Then they came up that with the aim of combating against colonialism. So this can be the positive effect of the colonial education, that it is colonial education which removed, erased the colonialism. The last but not the least is spread of Western civilization. This is few of them who got the colonial education. They started to adopt the Western culture, Western civilization. They started to worship in churches. They started to wear or to dress like whites, and the whole lifestyle they were adopted is like the white men. From that point, now let's come up with the quiz. What are other impacts of colonial education? I think, and I know, and I hope that colonial education had many effects. So I want you to come up with another impact of what? Colonial education. Thank you for watching.
Purchase your tracks today.